SC Stanford at Stanford Metalworks, and we got a project here going on today. At least the very start of it, I already got the design going, got some of the parts already into the computer, and then also the customer has already bought a seamless tow hitch assembly. So what that means is that there's no bumps or anything on the inside. And what this is going to be for is, the guy has an RV, but he needs an extra hitch assembly on the front of his RV because he already has one that's already occupied by their first electric bike, but they need a second one and they want to put it in the front. So he's asked us to make him a custom one, already gone and done some proper measurements. And the plan is very simple. We're going to have special plates with holes that are for bolt mounted onto the bottom of the frame. It's going to drop down about 8 inches, and then we're going to have the hitch system go straight out in front, enough to clear the fiberglass of the RV so that he can put in his bike rack that's going to house the electric bike for him. And but due to the fact that these electric bikes are going to be roughly around 80 to 100 pounds, which means that I got to build something that's going to be sturdy enough to handle all that jumping and swaying on the bottom of an RV. So we're going to definitely use some pretty thick materials. We're going to definitely show you some ways to build and weld something like this for a serious project. I've been working at a local steel fab for the last 2 years, and I've learned a great deal about structural prep and design. Just by fitting up things and understanding how the professional industry fits, assembles, and welds for the best possible results. And we're definitely going to show you in this video on how we're going to take very simple objects and make the most serious, cool looking, and functional tool. Essentially, we're going to make a very professional tool that you wish that it was on the market. So we're going to get started, and first things first is we got to get to the plasma cutter, cut out some brackets for ourselves. So let's go. All right, we're at the plasma cutting table, and I got some 1/2 inch plate here. This is some scrap from some previous projects I've done. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to need two 2 by 6 inch plates. I'm going to have it mark up where I want the holes and then have it cut out so that we can have nice little brackets that are going to attach to the bottom of the frame. We're going 1/2 inch so that we get very deep penetrations into the material, but also it's going to be very sturdy. It's not going to flex or anything, despite the size of the parts. And we're going to have a 1/4 inch plate that's going to be welded to the size of these, and then of course, like I said, we're going to put some bevels. We'll show you that when we get to there. But for now, we're going to have the machine do its thing and cut us out some plates. So, all right. So we got our first parts cut out on the plasma, and then also I already drilled a 9/16 hole because the customer is going to use 1/2 inch bolts to bolt the assembly to his frame. But then also what I'm showing you here is a 1/4 inch bevel on top where I'm going to be welding. I'm going to fill this in. So what's going to end up happening is that the plate that's going to go down is going to be like this, And then we want to make sure that we get a deep penetration on this side, especially when I have to go and grind that surface down. So we want to make sure that we have as much penetration on top to make sure that we have like a solid assembly. So we have a bevel, a 1/4 inch, so it's 1/4 this way, 1/4 down to get a deep penetration. There will be welds on this, but it's just going to be a nice little fillet weld on the bottom there. But then also make sure that we have some opening here on the ends as well, so that we get same deal, penetration, and it's going to look all nice. Luckily we don't have to grind these out. We just need to make sure we grind the top, because this is essentially going to go right up against the bottom of the frame, and so we want to make sure that we have a nice flat surface. So first part down. Now it's time to get to the next part, which is going to be our vertical side pieces. So back to the platter. All right, so we got a lot of parts already made. We got the side pieces that will be put in and welded later. So we're going to start off with the main centerpiece, try and get this all set up and ready so that when we put the sides on, we can make our overall dimensions. So we're all squared, we're all lined up, and so now it's time to really start welding and putting it. And so for the type of welding I'm going to be using on this, it's going to be called flux core, or also dual shield. It's a process that has two types of cleaning methods for the weld, and it provides a really deep penetration and strong welds. So because this has got to handle a hitch system and handle around 100 pounds, I definitely want to make sure that this has a lot of strength and making sure that we're penetrating into the metal as deep as possible. So on the other side of this, which would be so this is going to be the top, we will have a plate that's going to be welded on top of it. And so we're going to have this thing welded out. I'm going to also weld the other side, but then I'm going to have to go and make sure that we grind those welds down so that this sits as flat. I don't have to grind the entire weld down. I just have to grind enough so that this sits flat, because you want to make sure that you have enough material underneath so that the welds don't split open. You don't want to accidentally dig too deep down. So, and then we also going to have a front plate here. Yeah, so we're going to have a front plate here welded later on for an additional hooking. So, alright, we're going to get started and get this project done. So. All right, and now the project is complete. To show you some of the quality that we got going on here. Beautiful welds. Making sure that we got structurally sound. Even here, nice solid. Even an end cap just to enclose the frame, so no dirt or anything is going to get in there. And definitely made sure like little corners are all nice and melted together, so no cracks form at those points, and everything is within parameters, and like the customer is gonna love it.